Welcome back, guys, and today we are back in SnowRunner doing something that I have wanted to do for a very long time, and that is a head-to-head comparison between the original Monstrosity and the monster version of the XRH diesel truck, which I showed recently in its own dedicated video. Now, if you haven't seen that video yet, it is of course available over on my channel, but if you have, let's go ahead and dive right into this one. Now, maps-wise, we are out here on Rockrunner's Mud Park today. Now, Rockrunner's Mud Park is basically one of the best mud park maps you can head out to in this game. Obviously, you can also go to West Georgia Mud Park, and there are several other mud parks as well if you want something that's got a little bit more of an open feel. But this one is sort of compartmentalized into different specific dedicated areas with their own vibe and their own feel. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to see if we can do a run through one of these obstacles in the XRH diesel truck, and then we're going to see if the Monstrosity can either keep up with or exceed the pace that this one was able to hold. So let's fire this one up. Takes just a second to get fired up. Let's go in and put the suspension in high mode as well. And before we head down the highway or do anything like that, we're gonna go straight through the woods. Like literally right through, not even gonna worry about it, like right through the creek. There's really, there's very little that ever stands in this thing's way anyway. And just like that, we're at the first mud pit. Now, it's got a little bit of a wonkiness going on with the wheels and tires, and it kind of does this weird, like, back and forth thing because they have so much grip. Now, also, some of you guys might be saying, well, why aren't you using the 10x10 version of this thing? And the answer to that is simple. The Monstrosity doesn't have a 10x10 configuration, so I wanted to keep it at least somewhat fair-ish. Now, what we're going to do on this obstacle is I'm going to actually run corner to corner and see what kind of pace these vehicles can hold. Now, we're going to start in automatic mode. We're going to try going to high, but if it can't hold high range, we're going to go back down to low. So let's back it up into the corner here, and then we're going to try and run straight down to the other corner. Back it up just a bit. 3, 2, 1, let's go. I think you still want to go backwards, huh? Come on, finally. All right, finally it goes forwards. There we go. Wow, it hit high range right off the bat. Starting to spin, but the second you put it back into automatic mode, it just goes. Absolutely just goes. Even third gear, it still rips. So high range is just way too much wheel speed for an obstacle like this. Okay, so this thing actually did a really, really good job and pretty much just cruised through there. That's a pretty decent act for the Monstrosity to have to follow. Let's fire it up. Literally roars to life immediately. Now, with this thing having four-wheel steer, it's got the ability to sort of wiggle its way around in the mud, and sometimes that can help it get more traction, but that all depends on what mud depth you're in. So, oh, easy. All right, let's get out of the tree. What are you doing? Okay, first of all, don't flip over. It's kind of hard to flip this thing over, though, because the center of gravity is like a mile underground, but 3, 2, 1, full send, corner to corner, let's go. Yo, this is in high range. It's just cruising. Okay, I didn't expect it to actually do that good. I expected high range to just dig into the ground, and that was gonna be that. All right, so it looks like we need to kind of up our game here. So let's hop in the XRH Diesel Monster again and go over to the really, really long, like, straight-on mud pit that gets properly deep in the middle. So this one, it's actually funny because normally you would run a couple of trucks side by side through here. And with these, you probably still could, but dude, it would be a very, very tight fit, and you've got to keep that in mind. So let's back this thing up. We'll get ready for, oh God, get out of the tree. This thing is like, it loves like holding on to trees for some reason. Let's go. All right, high range starts to dig right off the bat, and then it goes back into automatic mode. That's third. Okay, third is where it starts to get a little unhappy in mud this deep. But I mean, we're all the way out in the middle now. This thing is absolutely ripping. It's actually ripping really, really good, especially for what it is and how big and tall the tires are. Because if you're not aware, one of the things to be aware of in not Over Outlaws, oh my god, in SnowRunner, is the fact that these tires, when they're this wide, the game starts to remove grip from the vehicle when the tires are at a certain width. because for whatever reason, the way this physics system works is the skinnier your tires are, the more grip you have in mud. And again, I'm not sure how the physics system calculates that, but from what I have found and from what a lot of other players have found is that is the way that this game seems to treat mud grip. So, it's now the turn of the Monstrosity. Let's see what it can do. In 3, 2, 1, send it! Is it gonna cruise it just like it did the other one? Oh my god, bro, this isn't even sinking! It's like these tires have helium in them instead of air, and it's just floating above the mud. How is it doing that? Literally, how is it able to just float over everything, whereas the XRH just sinks? I don't know if the XRH is heavier, or if this one is just like, I don't know if it's something to do with the tires, or what it is, but that is wild. Okay, so we've done the large mud pit here, we've done the long mud pit here, and then now, I think we're going to have to go over to the other side to the power lines pit, because the power lines pit is probably one of the wildest mud pits on this entire map. I mean, if you think your truck can make it through most mud pits, try that power line mud pit. I promise you that it will give you a new respect for what deep mud can actually do to a truck in this game. Because that Powerline mud pit, it is literally on its own level. And when I say it's on its own level, it's on a level that I can't even really put into words in terms of difficulty. And on our way there, let's take a quick detour, shall we? This pond is pretty nasty in most vehicles, and actually, this thing started to bog out in even second. This thing has to stay in first in the pond, which that should tell you right away how nasty this pond is. There you go. All right, will you fit on the bridge? I don't know, and part of me doesn't think, well, I mean, with like, what, 6 inches to spare on either side? All right, come on, up and over. Where does that go? Oh, that goes straight down into the other mud pit. Let's be just a little careful about where we're headed here, because any and all of the areas, especially the ones on this side of the bridge, can get really nasty really freaking fast. We don't need fuel. We're already good to go on that. Let me pull you around and set you up for a run down the power line pit. This thing, I think it's gonna be pretty gnarly. But before we set that up, let's grab the Monstrosity. We'll cruise over there. We'll take the same route. We'll take it through the pond, because I think the pond is also a very worthwhile obstacle to hit. And then once we got both of them over there, then it'll be time to send them. Easy does it. Thank you. All right, let's see if we can just blast through here. Full set. Oh my god. Okay, wait. All right, it's starting to spin. So that's actually the first one that has actually made the Monstrosity start to spin, was the pond. And I was kind of curious if the pond was going to make it spin or not. And I'm actually kind of happy that it did, because if it didn't make it spin, I would have been kind of concerned. I would have been like, so what doesn't make it spin? Like, bruh. Ooh, easy. Whenever I switch between these two trucks, I really have to reacclimate to that rear steer again, because this thing turns so tighter than you think anything of this size should be able to turn. All right, boys, this is going to be a run. It's going to be a run and a half, especially considering what we've already been able to do up to this point. All right, XRH Diesel Monster first, Powerline Pit, fire it up, and go. That's fourth gear, back down to third, down to second. Wow, okay, it's got to go down to first for this one. This is gnarly. I mean, this is properly nasty mud, though. This is mud that, like, not even proper mud trucks can, like, some of the proper mud trucks can make it through this. I mean, you really have to be on your game to make it through these obstacles. Come on! Transmission's getting a little iffy. Let's try using that variable ratio. Not bad. I think once we locked it into a low range, it was pretty much good to go, and it knew where it needed to be. But let's park it up here out of the way and see what the Monstrosity feels like. All right, get it spooled up. 3, 2, 1, go! Will it run high range through here? That's the big question, at least one of the big questions for me. And so far, that is absolutely the case. What? Okay, hold on. If it can do that in high, I'm going to whip it around and go back for another lap. Oh. Can I feather the throttle without stalling it? I don't know if I can or not. Oh, no. Come on. Bro, it is spinning. It is like, I'm surprised it's not like digging down into the ground. I mean, it's digging a little bit, but like these tires are so tall that it doesn't really have much room to dig anyway. No way. It got some of its grip back. I might be able to actually make this entire turnaround in high. I know it's obviously not the most effective way to do it, but sometimes that's the most fun way. And it's like a test to see what it can actually do. All right, so we got our grip back. Let's see if we can make it back down in high. Easy. Just trying to wiggle the steering back and forth a little bit. That also proves that this mud is the nastiest in the middle, but this thing just did a lap. It did a lap of that mud pit in high, and that, I think, has definitely got to be worth something, for sure. Now, if you guys enjoyed this video, let me know which truck you think won in the comment section down below. I am very curious to hear y'all's opinions, and if you're new around here and you would like to see more, hit that subscribe button and turn those notifications on. And also, if you have any suggestions for anything you'd like to see, make sure to let me know in the comment section below, and I will see y'all next time.